At 6:47 a.m. on a crisp Thursday in October 2024, my phone buzzed with a text that set my teeth on edge. It was from the president of our homeowners association in Willow Creek, a tidy little suburb just outside Portland, Oregon. The message was curt. "We've received a complaint about a commercial vehicle in your driveway. Please remove it within 24 hours. I didn't need to guess who was behind it. Only one person in this neighborhood had the audacity to turn a morning jog into a reconnaissance mission. That would be Lisa, mid-40s, with a peroxide blonde bob and a knack for wielding her reusable coffee cup like a scepter of suburban authority. My commercial vehicle was a 12-year-old Chevy Silverado, sporting a scratched-up bumper and my landscaping business logo slapped on magnetic decals. It wasn't a showpiece, but it paid my mortgage, kept the lights on, and funded my ability to mostly ignore Lisa's daily power plays. That morning, though, her timing was impeccable. I just dragged myself home after a 14-hour day hauling mulch and sod for a city park project. My clothes reeked of sweat and fertilizer, and I was nursing my first sip of black coffee when the HOA's email hit my inbox, echoing the text's demand. I stepped onto my porch and there she was, across the street in her pristine athleisure, phone in hand, glaring at my truck like it was a personal insult. She gave me a tight-lipped smile and a little wave that screamed, "Gotcha." It was practically theatrical, like a low-budget drama about neighborhood vendettas. I raised my mug in a mock toast and headed back inside. If Lisa wanted to play HOA gladiator, I was ready. She just didn't know I'd been sharpening my own weapons for years. What Lisa didn't realize was that my landscaping gig came with a side hustle. I had a city-issued towing permit. It was a perk from my contract with Portland's Parks Department, allowing me to legally tow vehicles violating certain municipal codes. In our neighborhood, that permit was my ace in the hole. While the HOA could send threatening letters, I could make cars disappear from public streets if they broke the rules. And Lisa? Oh, she had a habit of parking her sleek BMW right in front of my house whenever her driveway was clogged with delivery vans or her gardener's trailer. That afternoon, I didn't move my truck. Instead, I scrubbed it until it shone, reapplied the magnetic logo for maximum visibility, and parked it exactly where it was. By evening, sure enough, Lisa's BMW was illegally parked, its front bumper nudging into the no-parking zone by my mailbox, its rear flirting with a fire hydrant. Opportunity didn't just knock it, kicked the door down. I didn't tow her car right away. That would have been too easy, too petty. Lisa thrived on petty. I preferred strategy. So, I spent the evening compiling my arsenal, screenshots of HOA bylaws, city parking ordinances, and my towing contract, all neatly highlighted. The next morning, another HOA email landed, warning of fines if I didn't move my truck by noon. Lisa was on her porch, sipping tea in oversized sunglasses, looking like she was auditioning for a reality show. I strolled out, pretended to inspect my truck, then pulled out my phone and called City Dispatch. "Got a vehicle blocking a fire lane," I said, keeping my voice casual. "Send it to the municipal lot. Plate, LSA. I glanced up just as Lisa tilted her head, curious but clueless. 20 minutes later, my coworker's tow truck rolled up. I signed the paperwork with a grin as the driver hooked her BMW. Lisa came barreling out, robe flapping, shouting about misunderstandings and how dare you. The driver, unfazed, pointed to the fire lane markings and shrugged. "This is outrageous," she shrieked, turning to me. I held up my towing contract. "Actually, it's my job," I said coolly. "And per the HOA rules you love so much, plus city code, that spot's illegal. You can appeal at the impound lot by 5 p.m. The best part wasn't her stunned silent sight, was the neighbors. They materialized like moths to a flame, coffee mugs in hand, pretending to check their mailboxes. Whispers of "finally" and "about time" floated through the air. Lisa trailed the tow truck down the street, still yelling, her front doors swinging wide open. I finished my coffee and felt the universe tilt back into balance. But Lisa wasn't one to slink away. The next day, she was quieter, her BMW back in her driveway, polished to a mirror finish. She avoided eye contact as I drove by, but I knew that silence wasn't surrender, it was scheming. By afternoon, the HOA hit me with a new violation notice, claiming my truck constituted operating a business from my home, complete with a blurry photo of my driveway, conveniently shot from Lisa's front yard. I called the HOA office, hoping for reason, but got stuck with Greg, their rule-obsessed compliance officer. "This is a residential area, not a depot," he droned. I explained my truck was just a work vehicle, like the sheriff's cruiser 2 doors down. "That's different," Greg snapped. "Law enforcement is exempt." I didn't argue further. Lisa thought she could bury me in red tape, but she didn't know I'd spent years navigating city codes. The next day, I parked my truck on the street, right in front of her house, perfectly legal as long as I moved it every 48 hours. Lisa was out in minutes, circling it like a hawk, phone in hand, searching for any infraction. When she found none, her glare could have melted steel. That evening, an orange sticker appeared on my mailbox, claiming it violated community design standards. My mailbox standard black, installed by the same guy who did half the block, was suddenly an issue after 4 years. I peeled it off, laughing. Lisa had gone from cunning to desperate. Mailbox violations required a board inspection, meaning she'd either faked the notice or bullied the board into acting without a vote. Both were against HOA rules. I upped the ante. I parked my truck halfway up my driveway, technically compliant, but just annoying enough to provoke her. Lisa called the HOA mid-rant, gesturing at my truck like it was a public menace. 2 days later, the HOA president, Tom, showed up at my door, looking exhausted. "I've got a stack of complaints," he said, handing me a printout. "All from Lisa, your truck, your mailbox, even your lawn height." I pointed to my pristine lawn. "She's saying if I don't enforce this, she'll rally the board," Tom admitted. That was Lisa's game. Make enough noise to wear people down. I could have backed off, moved the truck, let her win. But after towing her BMW, I knew she'd never stop. So, I told Tom, "I'll comply, but only if she does. Remind her the board has to follow its own rules." He nodded, sensing I had a plan. I did. Over the weekend, I discovered Lisa's side hustle, a pet-sitting van parked a block away, unregistered for commercial use, and sporting a cracked taillight. I snapped photos and reported it to the city. By Tuesday, her van had a citation. She stormed into my driveway, waving the ticket. "This is low, even for you," she hissed. "I just follow the rules," I said, echoing her favorite line. She stomped off, but I knew the war wasn't over. Lisa's next move came a week later during a community cleanup event she organized, clipboard in hand, preaching about my truck as a blight on property values. I taped city ordinances to my mailbox, proving my truck's compliance, and showed up to the event with my truck gleaming, a flag on the antenna, and a cooler of water for volunteers. Lisa tried to shame me, but I worked harder than anyone, hauling trash and charming neighbors. When she ripped my city permit off my mailbox, claiming it was expired, Tom stepped in, warning her about tampering with official documents. Her face frizzed, overreached. Weeks later, at an HOA hearing, Lisa presented a dramatic PowerPoint, but I countered with a binder of city letters and photos of my truck aiding community projects. The board dismissed her complaint and warned against frivolous filings. Lisa left, deflated. She didn't quit, though. A week later, a city unsafe vehicle sticker appeared on my truck. I got it inspected past with flying colors and taped the clearance to my window. That evening, I caught her BMW blocking a hydrant. I towed it myself, savoring the moment as she screamed in vain. The neighbors cheered, filming the chaos. Lisa retrieved her car, but her campaign fizzled. She stopped filing complaints, though her glares lingered. I'd beaten her at her own game, legally and publicly. What would you do if a neighbor like Lisa targeted you? Was I too harsh, or did she deserve it? Should HOAs have this much power? Drop your thoughts below, like, and subscribe for more stories of suburban showdowns.